Yeah, Graham, a pretty clean game in terms of no penalties, no sacks allowed. What was just your impression of how you guys played your first time out as an O-line group?
Well, from what you just said, I think that the outcomes in that regard was good and something to build on. But I think that there's a lot of stuff that we can all improve upon. And I mean, at times the play was sloppy. For myself, from an offensive line, as a whole perspective, and I think that that's something that will only get cleared up further as the year progresses.
Next up, Kyle Newman.
Hey, Graham, how'd the ankle feel during the game, and just how's your health, your ankle, everything you're entering week 2?
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, as I told my guy earlier, there's always room for improvement, and I'm working towards making sure that it's back to 100. But I'm going to make sure that I'm out there on Sundays and playing with my team.
Next up, Andrew Mason.
Graham, non-football question. You told us a month ago you only had a few chairs in your place. So how is the furniture acquisition going, and how well are you settling in away from football?
I'm settling in really well away from football. We have a couch now in the basement. Still have the 4 folding chairs. I have a couple Adirondack chairs now. A couple of those outside, a couple inside, just, switch it up a little bit. But we actually got a table in the other day, but it was the wrong height. So it's supposed to be a normal table, but it's a cocktail table. So that's something we're working through, and we're pushing to getting better and getting the things we need.
Next up, Brandon Cristal.
Well, Graham, I have 2 non-Broncos questions for you. One, how excited are you that Michigan Wolverines are going to get to play? And then the other one is, how cool is it to be able to watch your brothers on Sunday and just sit back and relax? Were you able to do that, I guess?
I wasn't able to catch their game really, but their games, I mean, it's awesome that they're playing and that they're able to play. And I'm going to hopefully get to watch one of their games or a couple of their games here coming up soon. And I'm really excited for the Wolverines that they're going to be able to play, and the Big Ten announced that they're going to play. In my experience, I wasn't exactly like a highly touted prospect coming out of college, especially in my 4th year. And I needed that 5th year to really show what I can do. And I know that there's a lot of kids in the exact same position all over, not even at Michigan, but in the Big Ten as a whole. And for those guys, I'm really excited that they'll be able to show what they can do.
Next up, Troy Ring.
Graham, the stats show that there were 78% fewer holding calls called in week 1 this year compared to last year. As a line, do you have to discuss that to feel like, what is permissible and what is not? And secondly, if Phillip can't go, does that change at all if it's just more of a steady diet of Melvin Gordon, how you approach the run game?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they might have just been seeing less, and I mean, maybe there was less. I feel like we focused a lot on technique and making sure that we put ourselves in positions to not get called for holdings. And I mean, I can't really speak for the rest of the NFL, but as an offensive lineman, I'm happy to hear that that they're calling it less.
Exactly.
What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
If Phillip can't go and it's just more of a steady diet of Melvin, is that change? Because there's a little bit of different backs. Does that change anything up front for you guys?
I mean, maybe a little bit in their styles, but I feel like, Phil's a big part of this team, but Melvin and Royce are going to come in and do their jobs, and we're just going to make sure that we keep getting yards on the ground and putting ourselves in a position to win.
Guys, time for a few more. Next up, Barney.
Graham, you mentioned sloppiness at times in the opener. And do you chalk that up to there being no dress rehearsal this year with no preseason? Or is there a danger in kind of thinking those kinks will work themselves out like organically?
Well, I feel like there was a lot of stuff there that, a little bit of it was miscommunication. A little bit of it might have been physically, and not actually, as you might have mentioned, like not having the dress rehearsals, the preseason games, and that's something that we and a lot of other teams tried to account for. And you saw it all over the NFL. There was a lot of sloppy ball, and I think that, after you really realize it and you're able to see what's going on, I think it becomes a higher priority on at least my list to make sure that that we take sloppiness out of our game.
Next up, Eric Dela.
And Graham, Drew's only been sacked 5 times now in his 6 career games. After watching the tape and playing with him in live action, how much does his mobility or time, being aware of how much time he has, how much does that help you guys?
I mean, it helps us a lot. I think that Drew does a really good job of trying to get the ball out on time, and he does a good job of evading the pressure. And I think that that's just, as an offensive lineman, that's something you love to see. And I've loved playing with him so far, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season and what's to come after that.
Next up, Zach Stevens.
Graham, how did you think Lloyd Cushenberry did in his first game out, and how much communication was there between you and him throughout the game?
I thought Lloyd did awesome. I mean, he, on the actual mental side of things, like that a center needs to get done and need to call and all that stuff. I thought that he played almost a perfect game mentally, and when you can do that, I think that the physical will come along with it. The more experience he has, and that's something that's really, really exciting for me as the guy who plays next to him. But I mean, over time, I think that him and I and Dalton need to develop a consistency that we can all kind of get used to and accustomed to, and from there we can get better. And I kind of forgot how the rest of your question went. I might have gotten off topic a little bit, but I hope that was good.
Yeah, just what was there? Do you want to improve that communication between you two guys during the game between all of you, or is that more off the field communication?
No, I mean, on the field communication can always get better, but when it came down to his calls and him communicating what we were seeing defensively, I thought that he did a good job. But throughout plays, throughout the actual time frame of communicate better when it comes to passing off games and stunts, and we'll improve on that.